Hello, learners, and good morning to you all. Today, I am going to talk about result, the adverbs we use to express results. So, I'll just talk about the two categories, that is the use of hardly, barely, scarcely, plus the use of had or did plus when. Then, I'll also talk about the use of no sooner plus the use of had, did, plus than in the same sentence. So, let's go to the first category. The three, hardly, barely, scarcely, can be used interchangeably. They mean the same thing. So let's see this first example where somebody says, scarcely had I arrived when it started raining. Scarcely had I arrived when it started raining. This means this person just arrived and then it started raining. It just arrived, a few minutes or few seconds started raining. Or we can say, scarcely did I arrive when it started raining. Notice the change of arrived to arrive when we use did. When we use did, we cannot say scarcely did I arrived. We cannot say that because did is in the past and then arrived is also in the past, so we interchange them there. So the verb changes to present simple here. The use of barely, we'll say, barely had I sat down when my father appeared. Barely had I sat down when my father appeared. This is the same thing as saying, barely did I sit down when my father appeared. Okay? You can see the third example using hardly. Hardly had I sat down when my friend came with good news. Hardly had I sat down when my friend came with good news. We can also say, hardly did I sit down when my friend came with good news. So notice the change of the verb sat to sit when we use did here. Okay, so here is a practical example here where they say, rewrite this sentence which says, the lorry broke down before we began the journey. The lorry broke down before we began the journey. So they ask you to begin with scarcely. Say begin the sentence with scarcely. You would say, scarcely had we begun our journey when the lorry broke down. Scarcely had we begun our journey when the lorry broke down. Now, be careful on the use of had here. Remember here, had and did. So if you decide to use did here, you will change began to begin. Begin. You would say, scarcely did we begin our journey when the lorry broke down. All right. So remember how to use scarcely, barely, and hardly. Let's move on to the use of no sooner and the results. That's an adverb. Now, no sooner is used with had or did, then than. Remember, no sooner, we don't use no sooner with when. We do not use no sooner with when. If the sentence is asking you to use when, then it means you either use scarcely, barely, or hardly in that sentence to express your idea. All right, so now let's look at how no sooner is used. So let me just move the screen up a bit so that you can see clearly here. So no sooner, for example, you can construct a sentence to say, no sooner had I arrived than it started raining. No sooner had I arrived than it started raining, meaning the moment we just arrived, few seconds or few minutes, it started raining. So we can say, no sooner did I arrive This arrive changes to arrive. Now, not arrived goes back to the simple tense and not the past tense. No sooner did I arrive than it started raining. Another example. No sooner did he score the first goal than the crowd cheered wildly. No sooner did he score the first goal than the crowd cheered wildly. Okay, learners. So I'll leave you to practice this exercise here from the first one to the fifth one. Only 5 questions. Remember to apply the rules that we have explained on each and every question here. Enjoy the day.